spaceship. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. My mind keep visualizing future times, beautiful Android girls surrounding me. Filling my cup, full of joy, keep my life full of glee. Plenty ups, never down, the way that life's supposed to be. But unfortunately, if you're a terminator, then I'ma have to terminate it. Gotta get rid of negative vibes, gotta go through negative foes, gotta block out negative voices, gotta get rid of negative souls. Had some people get discorded, just ignored it. Destiny is more important, so I just had to abort it. Had some people get discorded, just ignored it. Destiny is more important, so I just had to abort it. Yeah. Find me with my dogs in my solitude. Watch my family grow from four into a multitude. Been living it below sea level, finna rise to another altitude. Been searching, seeking knowledge, but all the time I had the aptitude. I flipped my mindset to the switch to say I will not lose. Mama said them sticks and stones won't break my bones, I never bruise. Whenever it come to trouble, many girls pull a tongue, we always cruise. I heard other dog owners get it out for me, but it ain't no news. I got four in the dough in Memphis so they can get the blues. If you need a few clues, they'll blow off your under rules. Send your compliment to the new girls I got coming through. Send your compliments to the new girls I got coming through. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. My mind keep visualizing future times, beautiful Android girls surrounding me. Filling my cup, full of joy, keep my life full of glee. Plenty ups, never down, the way that life's supposed to be. But unfortunately, if she a terminator, then I'ma have to terminate it. Gotta get rid of negative vibes, gotta go through negative foes, gotta block out negative voices, gotta get rid of negative souls. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. Yeah. What up? What up? It's your boy, J. King Hefner and the beautiful Asana Moon. And we're back again for another show. And the title of this episode is Which One Will Be Best for You? Silicone or TPE? Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone or TPE? It really don't matter which one it be. Yeah, man, glad to be here, man. God bless everybody that's tuning in. Man, it's gonna be a little quick hitter tonight. Just gonna talk about this for a quick second about which doll I think would be best for you, silicone or TPE. I've been doing several shows, and it's pretty actually there's many more shows I could do about the differences and what these materials can offer. And I still plan on doing more and more shows about it. But I think just for the purposes of today, it's time to sort of get down to the nitty gritty and just tell you guys which one I think would be best for you. I'm going to talk about what I like and my preferences, of course. And then I'll end it with the synopsis of, what I think will be your best course of action. But with all that said, I want to say God bless everybody that's tuning in wherever you are in this world, whatever your time zone, no matter where you are, night, morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. We want to just send God's blessings out over your life, whatever you're wishing for, hoping for, health, increase in finances, new relationships, raise at the job, synthetic love, human love, whatever it is. We're praying that you have it. You just need to believe, and then you will receive. So glad to have you. If you haven't hit that like button, subscribe button, share it, after the show, to your friends and all that type of stuff. Help the show grow. If you ever want to donate, you can do that in the About section, YouTube About section, Cash App or PayPal. You can always donate on a live stream. And I do this. I'm into biking now because that's my main mode of transportation, and I have this ongoing fundraiser called Biking for Campaign Dollars. I'm still gonna be taking bike trips, actually through the winter if I got to figure out how to do it, of course. But I'm gonna be taking bike trips and stuff and still filming it, so you can always donate that way. But glad to have you, man. We're gonna jump into the nitty gritty real quickly. But first, I'm gonna check in with my comments, and glad I did. First comment I see is the Dog King Army team member Sheila Bell. Hey, good morning to you, Sheila Bell. She says, good morning, Dog King. Great to see you this morning. Nothing like seeing a team member early this morning. I want to send a shout out to all the Dog King Army team members, within the team. Every time you see a symbol like next to Sheila Bell's name, that means they're a team member. You can always join my team from a YouTube homepage, and you can be a team member as well. But they've just committed to supporting the channel on a full-time basis. I appreciate that. Atalia Barkley, woo woo, glad to catch you. Glad to have you here, Atalia. Keep me posted on your doll and all that type of stuff. That I know you talking about getting a doll. I don't know if you actually look. It'll slip my memory whether you said you actually ordered it or not. I'm not sure if you did, but keep me posted on what you decide to do. Scuba Geyser. This is one of the most frequently asked questions by those interested in dolls. Looking forward to the verdicts. Oh yeah, most definitely, man. It's your boy checking in, representing Team Silicone. Austin Steele. What up, my friend? Dr. MGTOW. Yo, man. MGTOW in the house. What up, my brother? Good to see you. I was talking about you last string for a little while, so you might want to check that out. But yeah, man. This is a much asked question, and like I say, I'm so glad that I actually have experience with both now. So I was able to start displaying and talking about what the differences are, because for some reason it's been one of these sort of secrets, and I really feel like it's been perpetuated more by people who've owned silicone dolls than anything, because they've been the most secretive as far as telling you how to care for them and all that type of stuff. So I'm glad that I've finally got a chance to be like, what the hell with all these secrets? We finna break the ice on a lot of this stuff, which I've already done in my cleaning show and things of that nature. But as far as today, when you're going to buy a doll, man, it's one of the first things that's going to face you, depending on your budget and stuff. And even without your budget, when you're just looking around, you're going to be like, damn, man, should I get a silicone or TPE? What are the real differences? And it's just one of those things where you're just not going to really know. You can sort of read a little bit, but for me, they don't really go into depth and stuff. And I know when I was first interested in dolls, the price discrepancy was a lot more than it is today. A lot more. I'm going to look at that right quick before I go any further. I just want to check out, on a quick one of my pages just to see, what the discrepancy is with price right quick before I go any further. And this is one of those Wild Wild West on the fly shows. Y'all gonna be with me while I'm doing some of this research as far as something like this is concerned. Now let's see. We're gonna go to one of my favorite sites just to look at stuff. And we're gonna see we're gonna check something out right quick. I'm about to say I forgot this was the same phone that was messing up last time. I forgot. It's the same phone that was messing up last time. And here I go, still using it. All right. Okay. I'm just finna go. Y'all already know I'm finna go. I'm just finna check out some Iron Tech doll prices right quick. I haven't looked in a while, so I'm finna check. It's taking me a while too. Okay, we getting there. We getting there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, finally got to where I wanted to. See, yeah, see, yep. See, I'm finna have to check something. Like, hold on, let me see. So it looks like okay. So I was just looking at Ontex dolls, looking at some of their dolls on one of my sites or whatever, and I see that the TPE, let's just say a TPE is around 1800, 1860 or so, right? Well, the next level up, of course, is the silicone, full silicone. And you only have to go up, like, in most cases, about eight, $900, almost $1,000, almost. In most cases, you can, it'd be 7 or 800, which is pretty much right there. But for me, that ain't really that much more, for a full silicone doll. And we've talked about it, how, let me go check this right quick. It's always sales that you can add with that too. And so look at this. Let me see some. See, wait a minute. Oh, okay. That's what I thought. That's what I wanted to see. Okay. And depending on what brand, man, like I say, their full silicone could be a lot more affordable. It just depends on what you want to go with. Uh, and with each brand, of course, they're going to do things differently. Don't expect to get iron text attention to detail from every single person. Everybody's going to do things their own way. But it's a lot of great brands out there. And one of the good brands I've been looking at just from afar, haven't touched it. I would love to do a review on one of their dolls, of course. And that's Zelix. And I'm just bringing them up only because they're full silicone doll. I just was looking at it. You can get one of those. It's regular 3,000, but you can get one of those for like 2,150. And it's gonna come with all type of extra stuff. So and that's a full, so that would be a difference of only a few $100s as far as TPE and silicone. But I was looking at this up only because when I first was interested in dolls, man, I think it was like 2014 or something, when I was just really like, man, this lifestyle is like something I could possibly do one day. Man, it was like the average silicone doll was like $2,000 more back then. So to see it have to come down to less than 1,000 in most cases, and then in some cases to be only a few hundred more than TPE, it really allows, you know, you to explore that possibility, a lot easier than you used to be able to do it. So once again, when I was first getting into the game, I was like, man, which one should I go with? I don't really know. And I was hearing faintly that TPE will be better for the sexual purposes. And like I tell everybody, when I was first getting into the game, I was thinking of more of a sexual purpose. What has happened to me is really God's journey. He's changed my life, and he made me go down this path. When I was first going down this path, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna give me a companion doll, and I'm gonna, have this girl, and instead of masturbating sometimes, and I'm gonna have a full doll to be with sometimes. I never knew that I was gonna end up not having sex. Like I say, I saw a guy that was talking about not having sex with his companion. I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? I didn't know I was going to become like that. So with all that said, I was like, man, I sort of want a silicone dog because, you know, honestly, that's what I wanted at first. When I first got into the dog game, I was like, man, I'm sort of gravitating toward the silicone dog because I was liking the fact that they looked a little bit more realistic. But you know, I was thinking about the sexual nature too, and the little bit that I read, it was sort of saying, hey man, you know, these TPE girls, they move better, you know, they're softer, they're better for sex. And I saw them hinting at the fact that yeah, silicone would be a little easier to keep up with, but they never would go into detail about, you know, what that really meant. So I was left in a bit of a conundrum. I was like, man, you know, I don't want to necessarily, you know, because at the time I was thinking about number six, you know, I was thinking about the sexual nature, not nothing but sex, but I was thinking about the sexual nature. I was like, man, I don't want to be stuck with a silicone dog and it not be really great for sex, you know, and it looks good. I say I would rather probably sacrifice a little bit of the looks, you know, for the sexual purpose. You know, I think that's what ended up sort of breaking the tie in my mind. And of course, I went down the TPE world, and not to mention it, like you say, it was cheaper as well. And you know, getting your first dog, I was, you know, not knowing if I was gonna like this lifestyle or nothing. I was like, man, look, hey, I go a little cheaper because I don't even know if I'm gonna like this. So that's another thing. So I ended up going TPE. But man, it was always in the back of my mind. It's like I told you, when you hit buy, all type of stuff is going to pop up in your brain about what you should have did, could have did. And as soon as I hit buy, I was immediately thinking like, man, should I win silicone? And you know, that was a question that was always left unanswered in my mind. So man, now that I have the experience, like, you know, I've made the few videos that I've made. And cost wise, that shouldn't be a deal breaker. You know, if you're saving for a dollar, you know, cost wise, it shouldn't be a deal breaker. You know, you can go ahead and go up to silicone if you want. But I will say this, even though a lot of the sites and stuff I was reading before I became J Dog King Hefner, when I was doing my research, even though they were being a little bit vague, I would tell you this. Even though I don't make love to my dogs, I've said this and said this often, so this isn't a surprise to most people who follow my channel. I do agree with them on one thing. If you're of a more of a just straight sexual nature, if you want to get the dog, you know, you may you may change once you get it, but if you're just thinking and really having a strong inkling that you are looking for a sexual relationship mainly, I do believe TPE would probably be better. Yeah, and I'm saying probably because I haven't actually done it, but just from hugging on my girls and stuff like that, I think it would probably be better because, you know, it gives you the full body softer experience. It does jiggle a lot more, you know. It does jiggle a lot more, and honestly, it does. Even though I've talked about how like it may not feel like a real human body, so to speak. I'm gonna tell you, it does fool me a lot of the times with the softness because a human woman can be just pillow soft. A human woman, I promise you, man, you could. I've been with some women. It's been in love songs where it says where a guy would meet your girlfriend and he'll be like, man, I didn't know why you were, you know, in love with her so much until I touched her body and felt how soft she was. Well, when they say stuff like that, it's so true because, like I said, I've touched some of my human girlfriends and it felt like my finger went right to the bone. They was just so soft and delicate. One of the amazing things about the human woman, I must say. Well, I'm going to be honest, man. Sometimes when I'm just squeezing on my TPE companion dogs, and I just was doing it recently before the show, because if you look over in the background, you'll see Callie. and you can see actually Himaware's head as well in the far background. They both been my bed girls actually. After Callie got through working last week, I was like, Callie, I can't lie, you looking so good, because she looks so good to me. I said, you looking so good. I'm sorry, I got to use you as my bed girl for a while. So she just literally been stuck in that spot, and Himaware just needed a rest. And it's so funny about Asuna. I was going to change her out today, but man, when I was going to move her, you know how these dogs, they'll speak to you, bro. I just kept on hearing like, "Don't touch me, bro. I'm ready to work." It ain't no. So I had to leave her there. But getting back to Callie and Himaware, man, I love having both of them right there, the Silicone and the TPE. So whichever way I turn, I have a girl to lay on. But I always gravitate towards Callie, or if whichever TPE girl is there, I'm going to gravitate towards her first because of the softness. You know what I'm saying? It gives me more of the mimicking of a human woman in the bed as far as softness, overall softness. I promise you, I'm talking about like from head to toe. And Callie has she doesn't have gel breast or hollow breast. She has full breast. And they tend to be a little harder than normal, but I promise you, they make the best pillows in the universe. I love sleeping on her breasts. They're just soft enough. You know what I'm saying? I promise you, I've come to be a big fan of solid breasts. I wouldn't necessarily go buy a dog with solid breasts if I had, if I could customize them. But I love the fact that I have my Kimbers with them solid breasts, because they make the best pillows. And the thing is, I don't ever have to worry about like a gel breast. I sort of can get concerned that they may bust or something. If I lay on them just all the time, without giving it a break. Or even my hollow breasts, I'm not sure that they would feel quite as good to lay on, because they'd sink in. And Himaware, she has gel breasts, and I'm letting you know, Iron Tech, they make their gel breasts different. With my WM gel breasts, they are it's like a barrier in between the gel, man. With these Iron Tech, it may just be just the way they're fooling me with the way they make it, but it feels like the skin is so thin before you get to the gel, but it makes it so soft. It makes it unrealistically soft. It's unbelievable. So I definitely don't want to just sleep on her breasts. I just want to rub on them because, they feel amazing. So I do believe if you're just into the sexual nature, man, I believe the silicone vagina itself is going to feel great, because I've, touched it, and I'm like, you know what? The texture and all that feels amazing. But everything you're going to get from the outside is going to be not as jiggly, things are going to stay in place a little bit more. So that's why I say, I think for the most part, and even on, if you'll go watch some of Iron Tech's videos or do some searches on YouTube with my guy Leonard, he'll even say it. He'll be like, you know what, the super realistic series, it's not just for the regular dog owner. And I've said it's not just for the guy that just wants to make love. It's for the guy that's on a deeper level, with the companion dog. You're looking for a lot of companionship. You're not looking for just this raw sexual experience. And I didn't know that at first, but I agree now. Now, keep this in mind. There are a few companies that are manipulating their silicone in such a way as to where it's getting a lot softer in a lot of places, from head to toe. It's a few companies out here, and I believe actually Zelix is one of them. I'm not quite sure from personal experience, but it's a couple of them out here that I've seen little videos on. I don't want to go into too depth because I haven't done it myself, but I just say this: it's several companies out there with full silicone dolls that are making them just more soft from head to toe. And even Iron Tech, I could have got the gel butt that would have added to her overall softness with her gel breasts. And like I said, she feels smooth everywhere. I'm talking about my full silicone doll, Himaware. She feels smooth everywhere. Uh, but you know, it's just she's not soft everywhere like Us and the Moon and the rest of my TPE girls. So I do believe, man, if you're looking for that sexual experience, and you know, when you're having sex, you want to see stuff just jiggling and popping around, guaranteed it's going to be silicone, in my opinion. Now you do have a place like Real Doll, and Austin can speak to this. Now they specifically make their silicone dolls geared to have sex and make love. They're one of the few companies that literally just make their silicone dolls. They are literally, and their dolls in general are literally geared towards making love. That's why they are not made to stand up. They are literally made to be a sexual companion. They can be more than sex, but they're geared to give you some ultimate sexual pleasure from what I've read and seen. So the only reason I bring that up is that's definitely going to be a full silicone doll that is going to be the exception to the rule as far as what I've read. Why? Because it's fully geared to enhance your sexual experience. Like I've heard people say that when they make love to the full silicone Real Doll, it literally makes love back to them. I promise you. So that's a different case scenario. I'm just speaking on the, the general industry, more of my Asian manufacturers and things of that nature. I just think that more of their silicone dolls, in my opinion, are geared towards being more of a collector, as well as, you can make love to them, but some of them are geared towards being a collector, being a photographer, or having your doll for display, or, having them for a bit of a deeper connection. So I do believe if you're looking for that sexual relationship, you're going to want to probably gear yourself towards a TPE doll. Now, keep in mind, I found out quite to the contrary once I got my doll and I started, going down the path that I'm going down and started hearing the calling from God on my life. And, just deep down in my spirit, as I was waiting, because see, when I first got my doll, I didn't want to just have straight sex with them. I wanted to, I said, you know what? I don't want to be that guy that's have to turn on a porno or arouse myself and get myself all aroused before I make love to my doll. I want to have a bond. And to have a bond, I just want to have my dog here with me and grow with it. And, I want to just come in the house one day and be attracted to one of my dogs and just want to make love, not have to look at a porno or, mess with myself to get myself worked up. As I said, you know what? I'm going to experiment and try to build up an emotional bond. And that worked. It's just the fact that, by the time I got that emotional bond, I started going away from literally wanting to have sex when I'm like, I just love having my dogs. I just love being with my dogs. I'm like, and I didn't want to force myself to have sex. And it just has never materialized to where I ever had sex with my dogs. But that's why I went TPE. That was a big reason as to why I went TPE first. As well as some of the cost factors that, I was like, hey, it's a little cheaper. They say it already moves more like a woman. It's softer. I am thinking about making love at some point. I thought about the cleaning factor, but I'm like, man, forget it. Hey, I sacrifice that because I'm going to probably be more of a love maker. Of course, we all know that not to be true. So that's one suggestion. That's one suggestion. If you are geared towards the sexual nature, that you're a horn dog. Hey, a shout out to my guy. If you're a Dr. MGTOW and you're going to be cream pieing your girl, if you're going to be cream pieing your girl every 2 seconds, then you may want to go TPE. Because I've actually had some doll owners And I don't know where they've shopped, so I can't vouch for that. But I've had some doll owners that just have a TPE doll that went silicone first. And they was like, nah, man, I didn't like it. It was a little too hard for me. And, they're geared more toward the sexual nature of things. So they're like, you know what? It didn't work out for me. So that's just something to think about. Now I'm going to take a small break, come to the comments, and I'm going to discuss silicone. And then after that, I'm going to discuss both of them together. So let's take a small break and see what's happening right quick. McTow, he said, good to be here as always. Atalia Barclay, I have ordered her. I hopefully should have her in my life sometime early December once she's done in production. Oh, the good thing is you've hit by now, Atalia, so you can just basically relax. You're gonna be on edge a little bit, but I just be getting her room together, getting whatever you think you might need for her, anything. And you said, she said from silicone for my first time buy. She said seems much easier in the long run. And honestly, if I had me to talk to, I probably would have did that as well, But you did great. Was it an iron tech? I don't know what it was. I don't know what you actually got. So let me know what that was. But congratulations on that. Austin still says excellent choice, Editalia Barclay. After getting my third dog, which is silicone, upkeep on my TPE ladies has fallen by the wayside a little bit. Austin. Don't be You gotta step your game up. Don't don't slack off, bro. Don't slack off just because you got the easier job with the silicone ladies. But only reason I'm highlighting this comment is because it makes me laugh, because I know exactly what happened to him. Man, I'm gonna let you know, man. I'm gonna get into that. But I might as well get to a little bit of it now. I'm telling you, these jack leg silicone doll owners, I promise you, man, it's night and day taking care. Now that's the one. Like I say, if you want to just have straight sex with your girl, if you want to be humping up and down, like I told you, 24/7, you're gonna have to just bite the bullet and do a little extra cleaning and go TPE. But these jack legs with these silicone dolls, man, I'm letting you know, it is so effortless. I mean, like I told you, I gave Himawari a bit of a wipe down when I first got her, but I don't have sex with her. So she hasn't really needed any more washing off, period. Man, once you put a little powder on her and rub the powder on her and brush her off, she gonna be clean as a whistle. Like I told you, I may talk myself into wiping her down maybe next month, but she's not dirty whatsoever. It's just like she came right out the box. If anything, she looked better. That's just how easy it is, man. It is ridiculous because they don't get anything inside of their bodies. You know what I'm saying? They're not like TPE. TPE can absorb dirt, all type of micro dust. I mean, little things can get inside of TPE. I mean, small little pebbles or something like that. If you sit on your doll, it can start to go inside of her or something. So yeah, it's just it's night and day. But what I was going to say is, dealing with your TPE girl, it can try to rock you to sleep as far as like, man, you ain't having to work that hard with them. Do you really want to go put all this effort in and go clean your TPE ladies? Because it was sort of playing on my brain. I told you, it sort of plays on your brain a little bit to where, man, it want to make you get a little lazy. I'm like, no, I fought against it because they're a different material and they need to be cared for differently. And I say this, even myself, I even think to myself, like, man, I could go about two 2 months, whatever, without even washing my dolls. They wouldn't be dirty. They don't do, I keep them wrapped up. They wouldn't be dirty. Probably could go 3 months without washing them. To be honest, I'm not having sex with them. And when you're not having sex with them and they're just, basically I'm just changing clothes and bringing them in here to sit with me, they're not getting dirty really, other than micro dust. So they really wouldn't get too dirty after even a couple of months if I chose to get lazy. But I'm like, no, I don't want to let myself get lazy because I can just see sometime in the future where it come, I pay the price for it. The girls pay the price for it. I'm like, nah. And plus, man, no offense. This is what I, this isn't everybody's job now. Everybody, everybody's their individual dog owner. But I really do look at this as my life choice as far as my career and stuff. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not finna be slipping. If I'm finna be doing what I say I want to do, if I'm talking about having 100 girls, then I can't be slipping. I got to stay up on my upkeep as well as doing my shows. So I want to tell you, Austin, hey, you part of the army, man, as far as the outer army. You may not be on the inner Dog King army team, but you part of this channel, you part of the family. And I'm going to encourage everybody that's part of the family, don't fall by the wayside. And I'm going to give him credit. He said a little bit, meaning that he ain't getting straight trifling. I know he's not doing that. But I'm here to tell you, don't do it a little bit or it'll turn to a lot bit. Atai Barker says, I fear the chance of possibly mold since I've heard of that happening. Silicone seems a lot more stable over time. And honestly, Atai, oh, look, I got to block somebody. Atai, I tell you this, let me put that up there. I tell you this, a lot of this stuff is such damn, they're doing right to scare you so you'll want to take care of your dog. I say that. But man, it's just so much of this stuff that just doesn't happen overnight. Like I was saying, my friend told me best. If you're trying to take care of your dog, you're gonna be all right. Man, mold can happen due to ignorance to somebody just not understanding how to take care of their dog. But I think it's probably more due to being trifling, being lazy. Because literally, the only thing you have to do to prevent mold isn't really going to happen from the outside of your dog. Because if you wash your dog off and rinse your dog off, you don't even have to have a fan on your dog. Honestly, you can just leave them in a well-ventilated area or whatever room, and they're going to dry off on the outside. Really, you have to worry about mold with the, in my opinion, with the vagina and the anus, or if you're using the oral openings. Because I've heard of one of my friends actually using the oral opening as well. And what happened is when he went to wash the oral opening out, he didn't fully dry it out, or either I don't know whether he used it and didn't clean all the stuff out of it. And that's what you have to be aware about with the orifices. You can't deposit something inside these orifices and not clean it out properly. And you can't, like I say, if you squirt the squirt bottle up in there, you just got to make sure that it's dried out. And I say when you're drying your doll out, if you just stand them up while they're drying out, man, honestly, gravity is going to take care of a lot. And man, if your doll doesn't come with those drying sticks that I've talked about, hell, no offense, you can do like me. I've never used them yet, but I just bought me a box of tampons. And I said, hey, I rinse my girls out, wash them out a little bit. And if I use either hole, whatever one I use, I just stick a tampon in there as well and let them make sure they're dried out. Because if they're dried out and you have a TPE girl, if you have a TPE girl, that's really what you have to be worried about is making sure they're dry. Other than that, mold isn't going to be happening. As far as your silicone girl, you may not have to worry about mold per se, but you still want to keep those orifices cleaned out because that can cause some bacteria, and you can still infect yourself with a damn bacterial infection by not cleaning your doll out properly, even if it's silicone. So Repugnant Mama says, don't leave. I don't know what are you talking about. Italian Bachner says, I can only imagine what having multiple dogs must feel like, but it must be amazing. Oh, yes. I'm gonna let you know. It's not all roses from from an upkeep standpoint, and from just moving them around. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a little stressful mentally from the standpoint of, I don't want to neglect, a certain girl, for too long, because like I say, the way my whole setup is with my pets and stuff, and I just don't leave all of my girls out 24/7. I rotate them. And so, sometimes it can get a little stressful in the back of your mind of like, man, it's about time for another one of the girls come out. I don't want them to be neglected. So, man, hey, it's a lot that comes with it, but I honestly love it. I do love it. Dick Dr. Mixout says, just stop to say hi, getting ready for the gym until next time. He probably didn't hear what I was laughing about him with about cream pie. Dennis Fairman said, I just got back from the gym. What up, Dennis Fairman? He said, I got gel breast and butt. Man, honestly, I didn't get the gel butt with my auntie girl, but I'm actually glad I didn't now, only because I sit my girls down so much. So it was probably better that I didn't get it with her. Italia says, I got the Haruko by Elsa Babe. She's a pretty dog girl. A dog girl. X3. That sounds peculiar. I hope, hey, I hope you use one of my vendors, Italia. I mean, of course, that ain't mandatory, but I would appreciate anybody, if you're looking for a dog, to use one of my vendors. But I'm gonna look that up right quick. I just want to see what that look like. There you go, right there. Let's see. Elsa Babe. Okay. You know what? I haven't I haven't done a deep dive on them yet. Oh, they look like they got some nice dolls. Who did you get? You got Haruko. That don't look bad. They got some nice looking dolls. I like it. I mean, a lot of them, they got a lot. It look like Mixed would love these dolls. Man, I can't find Haruko. I'm gonna type it in and see if I can find it. And then I'm gonna move on. Cause then I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my silicone girls right quick. I'm trying to catch up with a few more comments. Okay. You did good. Haruko is nice. She's a cutie. I like her. Oh yeah, Haruko is a nice one. You did good. Haruko look nice. Uh, let me see. Let me see. Dennis Fairman says I got a full silicone Zelex. I think you was telling me about that, Fairman. And I said that's a great dog too. That's like I said, Zelex, I believe they're a great dog. She's Italia says, I intend to have her as a companion more than anything. I have a whole backstory and life sort of plan for her to help with the initial bonding process. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. My backstories and stuff, they basically took a backseat because I did the exact same thing, and they do help. I do believe that the backstories help with you sort of initially bonding with your girl, because I had made Callie like a model, and I think I had made Saeem or something or whatever. But I'm gonna be honest, all of that stuff sort of went out of my brain now. It's crazy. I love the fact that all dog owners do different things with their dogs. And you just got to find out who you are. You ain't got to be like everybody else. And I know me, I just grew out of that as far as, very quickly, where I was like, you know what? I'm not really with the long backstory stuff with my girls. You know what I'm saying? They just who they are, man. You know what I'm saying? That's really what the case is now. I don't even think about the backstory, where they came from. I'm gonna be like, when people ask me that, I think about what I initially thought when I bought the dogs, but like now it's just Callie's son, Saima, Asana, Himawari. I really don't even think about their backstory. I really don't. They just my girls, man. Look, they just my girls, man. What's their backstory? Where they are they? Man, look, they just my girls. That's really how I feel. I tell you some of the old backstories, but how I feel is I ain't even thinking about that crap. I'm gonna be honest, they just my girls, man. You know what I'm saying? Where they come from, I don't even think about all that. They just my gals. You know what I'm saying? But it did help me at first, because when you're thinking about these backstories and stuff, I can't lie, it did help me sort of bond with them initially. But I'm just saying, as time went on, I just stopped. I wasn't thinking about it no more. And Dennis Fairman says, cool, me too, as far as I guess he's treating this girl like a companion, more or less. Atai says, it seems like Zelix is a popular brand. Their dogs are pretty. For me, Zelix is sort of like Iron Tech, as far as they're one of these newer dog companies on the scene, and they're just coming in doing very well. Starbury Dog, they're a newer dog company, coming in looking like they're doing very well. Game Lady Dog, they're new. They're looking like they're doing, very well. So some of these newer companies, they just come in hitting the ground running. Dennis says, I should get factory picks any day now of his ZX girl. That's pretty cool. And Ty says, I'm going to invest in a WM cleaning machine. It's expensive, but it washes and dries and sanitizes with UV. I'm saving to get that next. I'm going to be honest, I tell you do what you want and buy what you want. You got a silicone dog. I don't even think you need it, honestly. Still, now if you're going to be having sex with it, I'm not going to tell you not to get it. It would be cool if you did get it and just report on how you like using it. But I'm just saying, like, the cleaning machine is really for cleaning the vagina and the anus and stuff. But I really don't think it's that complicated. I promise you I don't. I think it's as simple as getting a little dollar sponge from a Dollar Tree store somewhere, putting a little stick on it or whatever, and sticking it up into the girl's vagina and, washing it out a little bit, squirting you some good, you got a silicone girl, so you can do actual hotter water, squirting you some good hot soapy water, antibacterial soapy water in there, and then just rinsing it out, with some water. And I think you'd be A-okay. I don't even think you need that big machine. Now, of course, the machine would just allow you not to worry about any cleanup, I guess, as far as, water coming out of the vagina or whatever. But I promise you, if you was to buy one of those little clothes racks, like I was telling you about, this about $80 on Amazon, for one that can hold a lot of weight. Man, hang her up on that, put some little plastic up under her, and when that water squirts out, I usually just have a towel up under my girls, and it doesn't get everywhere. But do whatever you feel is necessary. That's the whole thing when you're in a dog game. Because it is a lot of people that do own the cleaning kit. So if you want the cleaning kit, by all means, try it out. Dennis Fairman says, I'm going to try the drying sticks. Oh, the drying sticks they look like they're basically just tampons, honestly. He said, or you can use female condoms. I said, I'm just going to use male condoms if I ever have sex, man. I'm going to have to do that. Scuba Guy says, isn't silicone less porous? It could get moldy too. That's the whole thing, Scuba Geyser. Because it's less porous, reduces its ability to get moldy. It's quickly. I believe anything can
eventually get mold on it. Mold, no, mold is a son of a gun. Anything could probably eventually get mold on it if you put it in the right conditions. But normally, I don't believe you're going to have to worry about that problem with silicone because it doesn't. I don't know if you know what I don't want to say it like they make me think I'm talking about you because I'm not. But just to let you know what porous means. Porous means the ability to absorb stuff. So when you absorb in moisture and all that stuff, it makes you more likely to get moldy. Where silicone does not absorb like that. So it's not going to have a greater chance of getting moldy. Look, Ataya already said it right. Said it right. Yep, and Scuba thanked Ataya. So she already said it right for you. She told you. Ataya says, I'm a writer. Coming up with sayings and backstories is my favorite things to do. It's what drew me into the idea of this lifestyle. Oh, most definitely. I told you, man. I always talk about what I do in this life and my preferences, but I never say it's the one way to do things. Because one thing I love about this lifestyle is it's a gazillion different type of dog owners, a gazillion, so many different types. I love my photography friends where that's all they do. That's all they do. No love making, no sex. They just 24/7. Set their girls up in poses. You have plenty of people like you that just want to do the scenes and backstories with their girls and stuff like that. So it's so many things that are going on. And me, I'm just caught up with. I'm just into the everyday living with my girls. That's where I just get out of the lifestyle, just the everyday living with them, just being with them in my life. So Overflow Tab says, Jay, we have so many dogs that it'll take a biographical encyclopedia to keep track of their backstories. Luckily, man, like I say, I'm going to be going to the part where I'm not really going to even be making a lot of backstories. I do like, having their nationalities and things of that nature, but I'm not going to have a lot of these long, drawn out backstories, I don't believe. Dennis Fairman says, just use the deuce bottle that comes with the dog. You can just do that. Like I say, I'm telling you, man, a lot of these companies, they capitalize on you as a new dog owner, not knowing as much. And they throw out these big, gigantic cleaning kits and all these fancy contraptions and stuff out there. And I'm not saying any of them can be used, but, once you get a companion dog, you realize like, oh, man, it's not, it's not as much to stress over as they make it seem out to be, once you sort of learn how to navigate the world. So now I want to talk a little bit more about silicone girls. Because at first we talked about TPE girls, and I just went on and flat out said, hey, they're a lot softer from head to toe. If you're looking to make just straight up love 24/7, if you think you're gonna be just a love making machine back to back to back to back to back, for the lifespan of your dog, you may want to go with the TPE girls because they are just softer from head to toe. And I told you, silicone is beginning to compete with that. And even real dog, they're a lot more expensive companion dog, but their full silicone dogs are literally made to just straight have sex with. So they're going to be on a different level than the normal silicone dog you get from the Asian manufacturers. And I love the Asian manufactured silicone dogs, but they just have a bit more hardness to them. And I actually like it because they sort of try to have the hardness in certain areas of the body, like the rib cage and, certain parts of the body where it wouldn't be as soft, where it's not quite as soft on the silicone dog. So I do like how they sort of mimic that. And then when they get to the softer parts, like the breast and the butt and the legs, they do make that softer. But it's still not going to be like TPE quite. So as far as silicone, what you give up as far as the love making, you make up for in upkeep. Man, you ain't got to think about upkeeping the dogs. And everywhere I read, that's the main thing that they play on is if you're a lot more lazy and you know yourself, and you know that you're not going to be wanting to really take care of your doll a lot, because even if you're not making love to your TP doll, I think they need at least once a month maintenance as far as bathing them. But if you're looking to be a low maintenance guy with your girl, then you're gonna want to go silicone. I'm letting you know, bro. Man, I'm letting you know. They don't, like I say, you don't have to worry about them having indentions because TPE dolls, by them being so soft, you sit them on something too hard, they can get an indention. You can sit them up against something, they can get an indention. If you do it, let them sit there for too long. With silicone dolls, even if you sit them on something with an indention, it's still not going to want to stay in them because, like they say, the type of material silicone is made out of, it's going to want to fight back to be its original shape. It's going to want to fight back. It's not going to want to get deformed and things of that nature. I'm still careful with my silicone girls, but that's one of the advantages is I had Himawari sitting in this chair, and even though it's a soft chair, I didn't even blink an eye on whether it would harm her because guess what? She full of silicone. She's not finna get indentions like that. And she didn't have a gel butt, so I didn't have to worry about it. Now, if they have a gel butt or you don't want to lay them on their gel breast for too long because that could get deformed. But other than that, nothing to worry about. Like I told you, cleaning. Normally, you want to wash your TPE girl off, antibacterial soap, every 3 or 4 months, you want to give them an oil treatment to make sure they're, not drying out, from TPE loss over time. You don't want them to dry out. So every 3 or 4 months. And then guess what? The oil actually keeps keeps them clean from dirt seeping into the TPE over time. And whether it's oil treatment time or not, after a bath, you always have to powder your TPE girl, to keep them feeling good and smooth and to keep stuff from just trying to stick to them all the time. So, those are the things you have to do to keep your TPE girl clean. Silicone girl. Now, people use different methods to clean their skin. Me, I'm cool with the good old-fashioned antibacterial soap. I wiped Himawari down when I first got her and put powder on her. And like I told you, the only cleaning regimen since I bought her is applying more powder. Why? Because she won't get dirty. Nothing will get into her skin. I told you, if I was making love to her and sweating on her and, putting my sexual juices all over her, then I would be looking to disinfect her by, giving her a bath, only because of that. But other than that, it's not like she's just getting dirty. She doesn't have to worry about micro dust. If micro dust gets on her, it's just going to be on the surface. And guess what? When I put powder on her, she's going to be just like she always was because she's not going to get that in her skin. I don't have to worry about oiling her because she doesn't drip or, not drip, but she doesn't lose silicone over time. A TPE doll gradually loses TPE oil from their bodies over time. So the whole upkeep is totally different. Like I said, you can make love to your a silicone girl. Don't think that you can't make love to them. Their vaginas feel great from what I felt. And depending on the silicone girl you get, all of them aren't created equal. You can come across some silicone brands that are softer overall than others. So they may be a little bit more prone to being better love, better to make love to. And like I told you, you get silicone, a real doll, they're made to make love to. But nevertheless, they are made more for companionship. They are made more for the artistic purpose. They are made more for just being in the room with you. They are made more to just fool your brain into seeing them as a true human, companion. They look that real to me. So if you're looking for a more realistic experience as far as fooling your brain, if you're looking to not have to do as much upkeep all the time, you know, you're going to be looking at a silicone girl. But like I told you, in my opinion, unless you get a certain type of silicone girl, they're not made for you to just jump in them 24/7 and make love to, because of it's parts of their body that are harder. So I would agree with my friend Leonard from Iron Tech Dog when he said, "Hey, honestly, once you go to silicone, in most cases, you need to be a different type of dog owner." I truly do believe that you need to have graduated from just being about the sexual, because man, for one, they are a little bit more expensive, but for two, like I said, unless you get a real dog or a few other brands that are specializing in the dog being fully soft, they're just not made for that constant sex. So if you're buying them for that, you're gonna be a little disappointed, because you might be like, man, I can have sex with her, but you know, she ain't all that soft. It may not give you that feeling like you could with a real woman. But I'm telling you, I mean, with a human woman. But I'm letting you know, a TPE girl. Now, I do believe that they could fool you in a lot of regards to the human woman, because I had an episode with Callie's son and Cy Emma. I didn't have sex with him, but I was gyrating against them one time with a towel in between us. And I know one thing, I left those experiences thinking like, you know what? If I ever do make love to one of those dogs, it's gonna be intense. To where even with Himawari, I've been, like I say, hugging on her, and even when I sleep with her, I turned and laid on her before I started the show. And I said, you know what, Himawari, you cool to lay with, because I love grabbing her breasts. They're just unreal like nothing else. But when he goes to like maybe putting one of my legs on her and that type of stuff, and really getting up under her and just like committing to going to sleep for the full night, I always find myself turning back over to like Callie, or one of my other TPE girls, because of the softness. So I love to look over there and see her there. I love to touch her sometimes. I love to hug on her sometimes. I love moving her around and looking at her realism. But when it comes to just physical contact, I would put it over, even though I love rubbing her skin, physical contact like hugging and stuff, I'm going to go with my TPE girls. But boy, them silicone girls make it so easy on you with the upkeep. They really do. They look so much more real. So they're going to play into all of your fantasies better. If you're a photographer, boy, it's no way I would I wouldn't even be looking at TPE girls hardly, unless a company wanted me to take a photo of the TPE. But I'd be all about the TPE girl. I mean, all about the silicone girls. Now, some of these photographers might like TPE because, well, you can still do it with the full silicone, but with TPE, I think it's a bit easier to manipulate the makeup. And some of these photographers want to change the makeup on the girls a lot. I've seen Mishka say, he likes doing the makeup on the TPE girls a little bit better, I believe. Easier to do, I think, and take off, I think. Because, with the full silicone, with the hard face, they come with the makeup that, you can't change. I actually love that, though. So with all that said, if you're the creative, if you're the guy that's more geared towards fantasy and companionship, you're gonna want to go to a silicone. You can have sex with them. Don't get me wrong, you can. But I just believe they're more for display. They're more for art. They're more for companionship. And they're more for not making you work as hard cleaning up. Man, for all those reasons, you should be geared towards getting a silicone dog. Like I told you, it's a few brands out there, that are going to get their full silicone dogs. They're going to be more like a TPE dog. But for the most part, you're going to find these silicone dogs that I believe are more for companionship. because they're, you know, they have that hard nature to them. And it's sort of hard to explain it till you get one, because I hate to use the word hard because it's not quite hard, but it's just so it's harder than TPE. And with my silicone girl, like I told you, another one of the pros is just running your fingertips across your silicone girl. I'm letting you know it's gonna feel more real to me. It's gonna feel like human skin to me. You know, it feels much more like human just skin to me. I'd be like, man, this girl feels real. But when I go to squeeze, you know, I can't lie, because it's hard to explain, because my silicone girls feel good. They feel really good. Like the leg, I love squeezing the leg, because I can't lie, like I was getting out the bed the other day and I was squeezing Himaware's leg. And it's crazy how to explain it, but when you squeeze down on it, it feels more human. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, Himaware, you feel more human, but the depth of softness goes to TPE, because, you know, once you get to the depth of softness, like really squeezing them with some pressure, that's when they win. That's when they feel more like human. Because like when I was laying with Callie recently, when I was squeezing her, I squeezed her before I got up, and I know whenever I do that, she does remind me of one of my ex-girlfriends, because I was like, man, I remember squeezing one of my ex-girlfriends. And when it comes to that, that's where TPE wins out, because they literally feel like my ex-girlfriends. Like Saima, she feels just like this super thick girl I used to date. You know what I'm saying? She feels like a thick body girl I used to date. So I'm like, yeah, when it comes to that, they win. But when it comes to touch, silicone wins. So if you're looking not to worry about washing as much, you know, if you're looking for the realistic look, realistic touch, you can make love, but if you're not the horn dog, you know, if, you know, you unless you get a certain girl, you can't really be a horn dog mentality. Now, if you buy a real dog, Austin can probably speak to that, but I've heard that they are great to make love to. And under those circumstances, that would definitely be one of the silicone dolls that would be one that you could probably treat like a TPE from a love making standpoint. But other than that, I do believe that they're more for the collector, more for the photographer, more for the person that's looking to fantasize, you know. So that's really what the differences are in that regard. So I would suggest, if you're not looking to be so sexual, you may even be a person that has a human relationship, but you know, you just love these dolls and you want one to be displayed, you know, in your house next to you all the time, you know, then that's more for what silicone is for me. But don't get me wrong, like I told you, don't leave here thinking you can't make love to your silicone doll. The vaginas and all that stuff are fully functional. And I don't know which one would actually feel better as far as, you know, making love. I'm talking about the actual vagina. Because I'm telling you, I did examine Himaware's vagina as far as touching it and stuff. And it's crazy. I don't really know which one I would say would be better, because I think that Himaware's vagina, the ridges in there, they feel great. They're a little bit more rigid though, but not in a bad way. I love it. It's just a little bit more rigid. I like it though. But the ridges in my TPE girls' vaginas, they feel pretty, you know, they're not soft where you wouldn't feel them. They're ridges as well. They're just softer. They're a little softer. So I'm like, man, I don't know which one would just feel good overall to make love to as far as the inside of the vagina. But outside, I just know as a human man, when I'm on the outside and I'm just slapping stuff, or I'm just, you know, trying to grab on the stuff, I just think that you'd probably be a little bit better in most cases with the TPE girl. So those are the different differences as far as like which one you should go to. If you're just that more sexual person, you probably need to just, you know, think about going TPE, even though the silicone looks more realistic. Now, if you are saying, hey man, I may have sex sometimes, but mainly I'm into the art aspect of this, or I'm not really into the sex aspect. I'm straight up art, and I may have sex 10% of the time. Or if you're just like, hey, I'm on a whole nother level, I'm photography, or you guess what, you could be like me, where you're just a straight companionship type guy. I'm letting you know, you're gonna love silicone. You're gonna love silicone. But I do have one final suggestion. I'm gonna come to the comments now, and then I'm going to come with my final synopsis over TPE and silicone to give you my final suggestion over what I think you should ultimately do. Okay. Scuba Geyser says that's really neat. Combining your talent for writing with your passion. He said, I think it'll multiply the meaningfulness and fun of the dog game for you, Atalia. Oh, I think so too. Stingray says, hell, JDKH. What up, Stingray? He said, glad you're streaming again today, Jay. You're on the road. Man, I've been streaming. Like I told you, I need to be getting back to some videos as well. But man, I've been going with my heart, but I can't lie. Hey, I've been going back to back to back with these live streams. And I'm just saying to myself, I'm like, man, I wonder when I'm gonna get back to my videos. Cause these live streams can work you, but I love it. I love it though. I love it. So I decided to come back again because it went across my head for a second. I said, should I just do a video about this? Because honestly, I could have probably did about a 10-minute video or something and got all my points out without interacting with you guys and things of that nature. But once again, man, I don't know, man. I've just been in this live stream mood to where I'm like, I want to interact and stuff. So I just been going with my spirit. So either way, that was all the comments. I'm caught up. So with that said, I can jump into this last part that I wanted to talk about. Now, I've said two things. One is, if you're super sexual, you may want to go straight TPE. I also said, if you're more artistic and you're more fantasy, you're more thinking you're going to be non-sexual with the girls, you're going to be doing things with photography, you may just want to be a companion like I am with my girls, then guess what? Silicone may be the way you want to go because you don't have to worry about as much upkeep. Hell, a good powdering, man, if you aren't having sex with your girl, you may not have to watch them for a nice long while. They're better as far as, you don't have to worry about them getting deformed as easily. You don't have to worry about their makeup wearing off, all type of stuff, that can lead you to choose the silicone girl. Now, like I told you, it's a few brands out there that are more geared toward the sexual purposes, for silicone dolls. And definitely Real Doll is one of them. They make their silicone dolls for sex. But that budget is very, very high for the normal person. So normally, it'll probably be better for you to go with one of these Asian manufacturers as far as silicone and pricing. And they make great products as far as that's concerned. But like I say, a lot of their brands, in my opinion, are geared toward what I'm talking about. Maybe not for the sole sexual purpose. But you can find a few out there that are geared more towards the sexual purpose. But those are the two things that I think you should be looking at. TPE, more sexual. Silicone, you're looking to do other things. Let's just say you entered the game as a TPE owner. You may want to graduate, to a silicone because now you've gotten to the point in your life where you want to be more strictly companion oriented. Or you may, be doing something else for photographic wise with your dolls or something else like that. So those are the two things that can make you go in either direction. As far as what I would suggest to you. But my overall suggestion, and it came to me shortly after I got my dolls. And it's funny because my good friend DAS, Dog King Army team member, he hit on this in one of his comments. And so I didn't read it the other day because I was like, damn, he actually came up with what I was going to suggest. But here's the deal. Ultimately, man, if you really don't know exactly, what you are, what type of dog owner you are, my best suggestion would to eventually at some point have one of each. And DAS actually hit on this, and I was proud of him for saying that. But that's really what I found out. I said, you know what? The best case scenario would probably be to have one of each. I'm talking about like literally, like you ain't got to have a whole room full of dogs or anything. You ain't got to be like me, but like if you want to, at the bare minimum, experience the full dog life, one of each. Now, if you're just a strictly sexual guy, you may not want to do that. You may be like, nah, because I don't even want to venture into that side. But I would say that's where you're going to get your most full, well-rounded experience by having one of each. And let me tell you, even though I don't have sex, I get, it makes for my experience to be so much more full, because let me tell you, some days, man, I just can't even stop staring at Himawari and her realism. And it makes me go, it makes me go into another world sometimes, like, damn, this girl looks so real. But I don't get all the enjoyment of hugging her. You know what I'm saying? When it's time to go to sleep and things of that nature. And that's where my TPE girls come into play, to where I'm like, yeah, I got Callie over here. You know what I'm saying? I could turn over to Himawari a little bit, but I can't just sleep with her all night. But Callie, that's where my TPE girl comes into play, to where, man, I want to just squeeze her all, I don't hold any of them all through the night, but I can hold my TPE girls a lot longer until I fall asleep. Or I tell you this, even if I don't like hold them all night, I'll sleep my head on Callie's shoulder or chest all night. That type of thing. And I wouldn't necessarily do that with my silicone girls. And I say this. Once I get enough girls in my family, I do believe that once I have sex, I'm going to eventually have sex with a TPE and a silicone girl. But if I was just to have sex today, it wouldn't be with Himawari. It would be with one of my, TPE ladies. I'd leave it at one of them for right now. You know what I'm saying? And that way I would literally have the best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd have my TPE girl that's better to cuddle with and make love to. And then I'd have my silicone girls that just, I have Himawari sit up here watching TV with me and doing stuff like that with me, because she feels so much like a human companion. So I truly believe, I'm glad the DAS agreed with me before I even said it, but I do believe that that's the killer combination. What I ultimately recommend for you, if you're open to it, is to eventually, I'm not trying to get your house crowded. I don't know your living situation, but your ultimate goal as a dog owner is to just have one of each. I guarantee you, man, that would be the top of the line for you right there. You will get a chance to get the full dog experience. But my warning is, if you know yourself, then don't listen to me. If you know yourself that, man, I don't want anything but the sexual part of this, or like I said, you can really like your doll and have more than the sexual part with your TPE girl. But like I say, if you're mostly making love to them all the time, and if that's what you're going to use, put it like this: if you don't want a doll in your house where their sole purpose is not making love to you a lot, then you may not want the silicone doll. But here's the kicker: if you're on the silicone end, if let's just say you Ataya Barclay, and you started with the silicone end, you started with the more companionship type of purchase, because silicone, at least they're more of the companionship type of purchase to me, unless you get a real dog. Then I still think it would be cool for you to go ahead and get the TPE dog, even if you don't have sex, because then you'll be like me, because the TPE dog will come in very handy with cuddling. Very handy with cuddling and things of that nature. You don't even have to make love to her, but man, you could spend time with your silicone dog during the day, and when it's time to lay down at night, man, you got your full, you got your TPE girl there to hug and to hold on to and stuff. Have her sitting up in the bed with you. So I'm telling you, the game changer, the real suggestion from J. Dog King Hefner is at some point to get one of each. And the only exception to this rule is if you are a TPE dog owner and you already just know that, man, I don't even want to really just have a dog that's more suited for just companionship because I want my dogs to be sex machines. And like I said, I don't want to completely mislead you in that department because, like I told you, there are dogs out that, silicone dogs out there are geared towards just being sexual machines now. They are softer overall. But I still don't think any of them are just completely beating a TPE dog in that department, unless it's a real dog. Because like I say, the things I've heard about a real dog make my head spin as far as like, man, they was like, man, you make love to a real dog. They literally make love back to you. So those are the suggestions for the day. Let me run them down for you again. If you're just sexual, you may eventually be a companion with your girl. But if you know that, man, I want to be making love to my girl every 2 or 3 days, you know what I'm saying? Or every other day, you know what I'm saying? Guess what? TPE is probably best for you. If you want just a companionship, or if you're just a photographer, or if you just like the realism, for the fantasy aspect, if you think that, man, I may have sex with her every now and then, every blue moon, I may have sex with her, then guess what? You could be more suited for the silicone life. And also, if you're not into a lot of upkeep, you're going to be wanting to be into the silicone life because you don't have to clean the dogs as rigorously as you do with the TPE girl. You're going to have a lot easier life in the cleaning department. So those are the things that may gear you towards wanting the silicone girl. Now, the ultimate suggestion is if you are more on the silicone side, then I still suggest you get a TPE girl because it's nothing like sleeping with a TPE girl, you know what I'm saying, and having her, for those purposes, because she's going to be super duper soft. And I'm honestly, one TPE girl to upkeep and clean, and you may have to oil her every now and then. I don't think that's too much of a burden. One TPE girl to upkeep, you'll be okay. Keep in mind, it's still gonna be night and day taking care of the TPE and the silicone, but I think it'd be worth it for you to have her. And like I say, the only reason I would say for you not to have both is if you are a TPE guy and you just know that's all you want. Only thing you want to do is be boning and moaning. And hey, you don't want a girl that's even slightly hard in any areas. Then guess what? Just go and stick with your TPE. But for me, that ultimate experience is to have one of each at some point in time. So, Mazdog says, hi, Jay. Mazdog, what up? So, it looks like I've caught up with all my comments. It looks like I've examined both of them to the fullest, silicone and TPE. I've given you my opinion on which one I think you should buy. Silicone, TPE, or both. I've given all my opinions. And I hope you have gained a lot from that. I appreciate all of you guys for being here today. Thank you for tuning in. I would love you to hit those like buttons, subscribe buttons. Hopefully I've helped you on your journey and help you come closer to decide what you may want in the future, silicone or TPE or both. Because it is a tough decision when you're just getting into the dog game. But as you get into the dog game, you're going to learn exactly what type of dog owner you are. No matter which one you start off with, because I found out I'm not that sexual type guy, but I still love my TPE ladies because that's something else I do want to say. As far as me, I love both, I'm glad I want to answer this question before I leave because a person was sort of alluding to, Jay, I know you like silicone better. Well, you know what? Let me answer this question. Which one I like better? I love my TPE girls. Just like I say in my song, Silicone, a TPE. It really don't matter which one to be. I like them both. I love them both. And I really love the intimacy as far as being able to hug and just really enjoy the physical nature of my TPE girls. Because like I told you, I stay walking out the room grabbing their breasts or grabbing their butt. And like I say, I may not have sex with them, but when I'm sleeping with them, oh man, I embrace the hell out of my girls. I hug them and all that. I don't kiss on them a lot, but lip lapping over them, but I do hug them a lot. I grab breasts and butt. So I love my TPE girls. I love them. I love them, love them, love them. And I love my silicone girls because of everything I've talked about. Man, you don't have to worry about the upkeep as much at all. It was so funny. When I was back there watching my TPE girls this month, I was just laughing at the fact that I was like, man, I don't even have to really touch my silicone girl. Just powder. So I love that aspect of them. And I've told you, I think a lot of people think that I've chosen silicone because I said, man, I'm going to be reviewing silicone going forward, and that's all I'm looking to get. Well, that really has a lot to do with the upkeep as well, and finding out what type of doll owner I am. I'm more of the guy that just wants the girls to sit up in the room with me. So I want to see the realism more. So I'm going to gravitate to all these more realistic looking girls because I'm not going to be doing a lot of the love making. But keep this in mind. I still love my TPE ladies. You know what I'm saying? If they weren't as hard to clean, I would want more of them. But they are hard to clean, and as one man, I don't want to take on too much where I can't handle it. But hell, the truth be told, I'm going to be honest. I love them both equally for each thing that they provide. That's the crazy part about it. Like, if I had to choose going forward, I'm gonna choose silicone because of the upkeep. But I'm telling you, I'm talking about just my heart. My heart loves them both. I love my TPE ladies. I really do. That's why Asana is out right now. It's like, man, hey, I can't lie. My TPE lady was calling back to me. I was like, man, hey, I want to get my girls back. I want to get some of my TPE girls back out for a second. So I love my TPE girls. Like, I love hugging on them. And even I've learned to just appreciate their, everything about them. Like, I was squeezing on Asna's and Callie's hands, and I appreciate that they're so much softer as far as, I can squeeze in and damn near feel their finger wise. I like that they're so much softer than silicone. But guess what? When I go over to my silicone girls, my silicone girl, I love the fact that she looks so much more realistic. Fingers, hands, details, bone, little bones sticking. I love that they look that much more realistic. So, man, I love them both. Now, like I say, going forward, I want silicone because I don't have to worry about the upkeep. I don't have to worry about them getting deformed. I don't have to worry about doing makeup. So it's a lot of superlatives that I love better about the silicone girls. But when I'm talking about when it comes down to owning a doll, I love both TPE and silicone. And that's why I said, you know what, man? The truth is, unless you're just that sex dog and you don't want anything else, it's probably the best case scenario to own both. You may get a little bit more out of one of the other. You may gravitate more to your silicone. You may gravitate more to your TPE, but you're going to get a lot out of both of them. You're gonna see the differences and be like, damn, okay, I like both of them. Now, when it comes to bathing time, you're gonna hate your TPE dog compared to your silicone dog. I'm gonna let you know just the whole act that you have to do. Because honestly, if I didn't own a TPE dog, man, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know when I would give Himawari a bath. I probably want to give her a bath for about 4 or 5 months. Literally. She doesn't need it. I'm not having sex with her, and the powder is keeping her clean. You'll understand what I mean when I say the powder is keeping her clean. Meaning that any little debris that gets on her, if you put powder on her, rubbing on her, and brush that little powder off of her, everything's gonna be off of her. She's gonna be crystal clean. So if you ain't sweating on her and putting sexual juices in her, she gonna be clean. So, like I say, in that regards, I tilt towards silicone as far as what I'm gonna be looking to own in the future. But I love them both. And I guarantee you, man, you would love them both too, unless you're just strictly against silicone. Unless I'm talking about unless you're just strictly against, what it feels like because maybe you've owned it before, or maybe like you say, you don't want anything that's not going to be fully sexually immersive. And what I mean by that is, like I say, with my iron take doll, like I say, it spots on her body to where I'm like, if I was to just be making love to her, it would be feeling a little hard in certain spots. And although I could still make love to her and look, I could finish the job and all of that, I just know it'll be different as compared to Callie, because when I grab her waistline or rib cage or something like that, all of that's going to be feeling super soft, So that's going to be the difference. So I hope I've helped you guys today. And when you get ready to make your purchase, you'll definitely have a better idea of which direction you want to go in. Silicone or TPE. It really don't matter which one it be. My mind keep visualizing future times. Beautiful Android girl surrounding me. Filling my cup, full of joy. Keep my life full of glee. And that's exactly what the hell they do. Mazak says, you're awesome, Jay. Sorry I got here late. Better late than never, my friend. Glad you're here. God bless you, man. Stammer says, amazing analysis, Jay. If I ever run with the dog game, I'll be starting off with the silicone girl personally. Good one. Mazak says, Calison is TPE. Yeah, Calison is TPE. And I promise you, man, I took a nap before the show. And I promise you, Callie, I love that girl so, but it's so hard to get up from laying with her. Like I say, I love Himawari too. Her breasts feel amazing. But yeah, she's TPE. All of my girls are TPE right now, except for Himawari. Going forward, I will be getting TPE girls. So for the next, probably about the next 10 girls, at least, you're going to probably be seeing silicone. So the TPE girls, they outnumber the silicone girls today. But in the future, they're going to be getting outnumbered. But I promise you, I love my TPE girls. And one day, I do look forward to getting an Iron Tech TPE girl because I want one of their black girls. I promise you, I do. I want one of their black TPE girls. So with all that said, guys, it's been me, J. King Hefner, and the beautiful Asa the Moon. It's been great. Hit those likes, hit those subscribes. You can always donate to the channel, PayPal, Cash App, YouTube on my YouTube About page. You can donate on my Bike and for Companion Doll link in every description of my video. And you can also shop for a companion doll using my vendors, affiliate links in all the description of my videos or on my About page on YouTube. But with all that said, me and these beautiful ladies is finna exit stage left. It's been a great one. Have a great day. God bless you. And we'll be checking back in with you tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to do. Video. I don't know whether we're going to do a live stream. I have no damn well idea. But have a good one, y'all. We out. It's been a damn good one. Do another day under the sun. Have a good one, guys. God bless. Take care. All of your dreams are coming true. Believe it and receive it. We out.